What's up, everybody? Showdown weekend is almost here, and I have a must-use trio of formations for you. Now, this will get you a great defensive shape with numbers in the attack and a smooth transition. So follow along with me here. This is centered around the three-prong attack, meaning a striker and two wingers. But the bonus is, because we're using the multi-formation setup, right, where you defend in a formation, attack in a different, we are actually going to have two wing midfielders as well as two wingers and a striker. Just wait, it is going to be insane. As powerful as you can get in offense, a great chance to break down all of these sit back, park the bus type defenses you're sure to face on the weekend. It will make it enjoyable without a doubt, while, like I said, still giving you numbers in the back so someone can't just sneak one run down the field and maybe get a 1-0 win. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with the defensive formation and player roles, then balance, then attacking formation and player roles. Keep in mind that this is set up to defend in one formation and attack in another with that neutral kind of balance formation, how you start the game off. So these settings are based on you using your D-pad to switch to your defensive formation when you're defending, and then once you win the ball, quickly switch to your attacking formation to attack. If you are not going to do that, right, if you're just going to use this as three separate formations, sometimes you defend and attack with one, sometimes you defend and attack with another, you need to tweak the settings because, for instance, on all-out defensive, I have all my players coming back so they're close and can receive the ball. Then they transition as a team into the attack. So then the attacking formation is all-out attack. I'm not worried about defense on the attacking side because I'm only going to be attacking in that formation. On the defensive formation, I'm not worried about attacking because I'm only going to be defending. If you are not going to use the D-pad and switch and the formations as you transition from defense to offense and offense to defense, you need to tweak these settings. That is your warning now. So we will be defending in the 4-3-3 defensive, okay? Defensive style is balanced. Depth of defense is 4 bars, which is balanced. Width of defense is all the way down at 1 bar, which is narrow. Attacking style is possession. Players in box is 5, and width of attack is all the way up at 9 bars. Goalkeeper, do not touch, leave on balance and passive. Center backs, don't cross halfway line, holding position, and situational. You do not want to change your center backs either in the defensive setup. Moving on to wing backs, close to the sideline, don't cross the halfway line, holding position, and situational. Remember, we are only defending in this formation with these player roles. We are not worried about anything else but defending. For the two CDMs, it is very easy. Don't cross the halfway line, then hold position for the next 3 settings. You want those two CDMs staying at home in front of the center backs. They're your first line of defense. Don't cross halfway line, then hold position for the next 3 settings on both your CDMs. The same goes for your cam. Don't cross halfway line, hold your position, but for pass interceptions, it's aggressive interceptions, which is how it will be for all 4 attacking players in this defensive shape. You want them being aggressive, trying to force your opponent to make mistakes so you can win the ball back and get on the attack yourself. For both wingers, you want attacking style, short pass, attacking width, close to the sideline, crosses into the box, hold your position. Defensive support is drop back and pass interceptions, aggressive interceptions. The only reason you want close to the sideline, because you'll see later we want to be attacking through the seam so it's close to the middle for the other ones, is because this is only defensive and you want your wingers wide as an outlet pass. But as you transition into the attack, you actually want those two wingers, not to be confused with the wing mids, which you'll see later. You want the two wingers closer to the striker in the seams. But for this defensive positioning, you want your wingers out wide to receive that outlet pass. And for your striker, short pass for attacking style, drop back defensive support, and aggressive interceptions. So that is how we will defend in the 4-3-3 defensive. Then we will win the ball, and then we will push our D-pad to the right either once for balance or twice for attacking. So here is the balance setup. 4. Defensive style, of course, balanced. Depth of defense is 4 bars, which is balanced. Width of defense is 1 bar, which is as narrow as it goes. Attacking, you want fast attack for attacking style. Players in the box is set at 5, and width of attack is also set at 5, which is balanced. Now this is how you will start the game, and this is your most neutral formation, right? You have your defensive setup, which is very defensive, a lot of numbers in the back, and then you have your attacking setup, which is very attacking, a lot of numbers in the attack. This formation, you can go either way. There's numbers in the attack, you have a solid defense still, so you can utilize this as different games call for it. It is absolutely useful. You don't always want to go from one extreme to the next. Sometimes you want that neutral formation, and that is what the 4-3 attacking gives you with these settings. Moving on to player roles, for goalkeeper and center backs, you keep them the same. Balance and passive for the keeper, and then moving to the center backs, it's of course don't cross halfway line, holding position, and situational. Now for both wing backs, you want close to the sideline for attacking width, support the attack for attacking support, defensive styles, holding position, and pass interception, situational. Now you want your wing backs starting to move forward a bit, starting to be there as outlet passes in the attack, as well as being able to still do their defensive duties. For your two CMs, remember they're not CDMs anymore. They're going to be pushed a little higher. You want don't cross halfway line, hold position, and situational. Same settings, they're just pushed a bit higher up the field. Same job as well, sitting in front of the center backs, being the gatekeepers to your opponent getting into an attacking area. They're your first line of defense. For your cam, you want attacking runs under attacking style. Make yourself available for crosses in the box. Defensive support, stay up front. Pass interceptions, just situational. Now, your attacking midfielder is going to be more of an outlet pass. You don't need him as defensive. Remember, this is the neutral setup. And the same goes for your wingers. Attacking styles, attacking runs, attacking width. Now we're close to the middle. Make yourself available for crosses. Defensive support is balanced, and pass interceptions is situational. And last but not least, your striker, you want on attacking style, attacking runs, defensive support, stay up front, and pass interceptions, situational. So this will give you that neutral formation to utilize at different times in a game, right? You can choose when and where you want to use this, but it is good to have when you don't want to go one extreme or the other, too defensive or too attacking, which leaves us with our most attacking setup, the 3-4-3. It does not get much more powerful than this in the attack. Let's get into it. Defensive style is balanced. Depth of defense all the way up 9 bars. You want the high depth because remember, these settings are only for attacking. You cannot use these settings for defensive. This is strictly for when you lose the ball, you switch with your D-pad to either your balance or your defensive setup. If for some reason you wanted to defend in the 3-4-3, you would have to tweak these settings for sure. Moving on to width of defense, you want it all the way down 1 bar, narrow. Now attacking style is balance. You do not want long ball or fast attack here because you are already going to be transitioning with the ball up the field as you switch to this 3-4-3, and this will keep your players ready to receive the ball. You have so many attacking options. You don't want players running away in this setup the way it is. You want them ready to receive the ball, turn, and either dribble through the holes or shoot. And that brings us to players in the box, which is 5, and width of attack is all the way narrow at 1 bar. The reason for this is because you have 2 sets of wingers, right? You have your right wing and left wing, and you have your right mid and left mid. At all the way narrow, those 2 wingers will work closely with your striker and work in between those seams. It will give you the best chance of breaking through those gaps, those little holes, even when teams park the bus, but you will still have width from your 2 wing midfielders, so you get the best of both worlds. Like I said, you can't get much more powerful than this, as you will also have those 2 CMs cheating up, supporting the attack to help as outlet passes. Moving on to player roles, your goalkeeper remains the same as the other 2 setups, but your center backs change in one main area. Attacking support is support the attack. Defensive style is still hold position, and pass interceptions is still situational. The reason why they're on support the attack here is, remember, this is only an attacking formation, and sometimes if you lose the ball and the opponent tries to quickly play it up and get you on a fast counter, those center backs, if they play quick enough before you transition to your defensive shape, those center backs under the support the attack will be right on those attackers, and they will be able to snuff it out and put you right back into the attack. Now, if your opponent doesn't do that and waits, well then obviously you'll transition, and by then your defenders will be getting back into their defensive shape. Now, as I said earlier, your 2 CMs are going to be under support the attack, hold your position for crosses into the box and pass interception situational. So they won't be going all the way up, but they will be supporting your attacking 5 players as an outlet pass. Moving to your right mid and your left mid, not to be confused with your wingers. So your right and left midfielders will be on attacking runs close to the sideline. Make yourself available for crosses. Drop back on defensive support, and pass interceptions is aggressive interceptions. Remember, since this is only an attacking formation, if you lose the ball and your opponent, just like the center backs, tries to quickly counter, those wing midfielders will get a head start on getting back on defense and possibly win you the ball so you can get right back on the attack. Moving on to your wingers, your right winger and left winger. They are on attacking runs. Attacking width would be close to the middle. Make yourself available for crosses. Defensive support is stay up front, and pass interceptions is aggressive interceptions. Now, 2 things. They're close to the middle because you want them close to your striker, working with your striker, but also working those seams of the defense, right? Especially because you already have the wing midfielders providing the width. They are going to be narrow, almost like strikers as opposed to actual wingers. Then you have pass interceptions under aggressive interceptions for the same exact reason with the wing midfielders and center backs. If you lose the ball, right away you want those wingers as well as your striker immediately trying to win the ball back, putting pressure on the opposition. Then if you win it back before you're transitioning, boom, you right back on the attack. If not, no big deal. You at least put that pressure on and possibly put the opponent in a worse situation than they would have been with time. And last but not least, to spearhead your attack is your striker with attacking runs, stay up front, and aggressive interceptions, which we've already talked about. And that, my friends, is a powerful attacking formation meant only for the attack. As soon as you lose the ball, you then transition to either your balance or defensive setup. Now, at first, better safe than sorry, transition right away to your defensive shape or your balance shape. But as you get better at the D-pad switching, right, using this multiple formation method, you can wait a bit because that large amount of midfielders can actually be overwhelming for your opponent to try to work the ball past, and they might rush the ball right into that midfield setup. So if you can hold off a bit as you get better at D-pad switching, you can actually win the ball back before your opponent even gets a chance to even come close to attacking, right? They'll get the ball and immediately pass it back to you. But at the beginning, to avoid any chances that your opponent could slide through and get a counter with very little numbers back for you, you would want to, lose as soon as you lose the ball, immediately press that D-pad left to either your balance or your defensive setup. So that will conclude this multi-formation, this custom tactics trio, whatever you want to call it. It is ridiculously effective offensively, and it is strong defensively as well. You have the best of both worlds. You can absolutely counter the park the bus meta and have fun while you're doing it. So don't forget to comment how it goes when you utilize this, whether you use it to climb in divisions or you use it in Showdown this weekend. I want to know, do you like it? Do you hate it? The good, the bad, the ugly? I want to know it all. So keep grinding, keep having fun, and we will see you next time. Peace!